Hello everyone. Today we have Baisakhi Saha, and she was one of our speakers of this TED event this year, and she had a topic of traveling. So, ma'am, what will you like to say the audience about it?
Well, traveling is a passion. Only someone who has the passion to explore the world they came into can travel. And it has nothing to do with the kind of travel that most people do. Most of it is just to show off, go to some touristic spots, take pictures, post it on Facebook, but never really knowing those places. So, real traveling only begins at the end of our comfort zone, that you go to a place, you mix with the local people, you eat their food, you wear the local costume, you share their culture and tradition, attend their religious events. That's when you really get to know a different place. You get to know the people of different place. You get to see their values, their culture, how they look at life. And that may be so different from how you look at life. And people think my culture is better than another, this is superior than that, this religion, that religion. These are all just different ways of looking at life. There is no one absolute truth or no one God, that combines all of humanity. We are here to experience diversity, and culture creates diversity. It is not necessary that your culture is better than another. And this is the salient point someone should remember when they travel. Because if they go with a closed mind, thinking, I'm only going to stay with Indians, or I'm only going to eat this food, I will not touch that food, you will experience racism, discrimination and all that shit, and you will have a bad time. But if you are traveling, then if you want to keep to yourself, then don't travel. But if you are traveling, really get to know that place, and to know that place you should have that adventure spirit. So that's what I would like to say to all young and old travelers. Instead of staying in a hotel, stay at a person's house. And there are websites that allow you to do this, and you will be safe, because those are verifiable websites where people, your credentials and everything is verified, and then you can become a couch surfer or an Airbnb renter. And you find those opportunities. Go and stay in someone's house for free. In hotel, how much money you will pay? And at someone's house, you will also feel at home. Maybe you can buy them dinner or lunch in exchange for a free night stay. Yes. What is better? Right? And you get to know the people. So you should travel with that traveling spirit. It should not be just to show off, that external validation we all seek. It should be the other way around. You should give yourself permission to explore life and all that life encompasses. And you cannot do that if you haven't traveled.
Okay, what was your driving force for being a traveler?
I think I was very inspired. Like I said in the talk, I met these German people, and I was from a conservative Indian Bengali background, an ordinary girl with ordinary dreams. But that guy, one day he told me he bought a map of Burma, and he was like, I'm going to Burma on vacation, and I'm going for 3 weeks alone. And he didn't know a single person in Burma. And it was his first time in Asia. He had come from Europe, Germany. And I could not believe that someone could just get a map of an unknown country, go to an unknown land among unknown people for 3 weeks alone. And when he came back, he was not showing me pictures of the touristic spots over there. He was sending me pictures of people, of strangers who invited him to their house, shared their food and culture with him, so he felt at home in a strange land. And that kind of totally blew my mind. I was like, where am I and where is he in terms of our worldview? My worldview was so narrow and his worldview was so wide. So we only, as human human beings, we can expand. We cannot contract. We are always growing. We cannot ungrow, right? So, narrow can become broad. Broad cannot become narrow, right? So, it was my lesson. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I need a bigger worldview. My worldview is too small to hold my soul. So, you have to create a dream big enough that can contain your soul. And if your dream is not that big, then it is not a dream.
Ma'am, it is said like log milte gaye, karwa banta gaya. Ma'am, like what will you say young people out there, like mixing up people abroad and over here even in India, it's too difficult a job. So how will you guide them so that they feel free, they feel like we can go in with them, go in with the flow, and they travel a lot?
Yeah, see, I started traveling as a student. So my all stories and tips are for youth, for students, even adults, old, because I've also met a lot of old people on my way traveling, adventuring like me. See, again, blocks are in our mind. They don't exist in reality. Like I said, racism does not exist. People are creating NGOs fighting against racism, but racism only exists in your mind as a concept. And if you believe that you will be discriminated against, you will be. See, I traveled to so many countries. Blacks, whites, browns, yellows, greys, whatever skin color that exists, you know, they were all equally welcoming of me. How is that possible if racism exists? It is because I dared to create meaningful connections with strangers. Usually what happens, people when they travel, they stick to their tribe, they stick to their group, and they think they are open-minded because they are traveling, but they are not open-minded.
Yes,
their mind is closed, they are criticizing that other culture, they are saying look what they are eating, look what they are wearing constantly, and we are all vibrations, our thoughts are vibrations, you know. You are sitting next to me. If I am thinking bad about you, I don't have to say it, you will feel it.
Yes,
so, if I am going to a country with those mindsets, the other person, the local can feel that I am already closed. So, they will not be friendly with me,
yes,
and I will come back and say, this country, these people are racist. That's not true. See, I have friends from so many different countries. They are all my very good friends. You know, in fact, I don't have enough Indian friends. Actually, most of my friends are from abroad. And it's not something I'm boasting or good, bad. I don't judge it. Some people will say, oh no, she has not many. I have good Indian friends also, but most people don't understand the perspective I'm coming from. You know, because Indians have this habit to keep to themselves all the time. You know, maybe they feel they won't be accepted. And when you feel that you won't be accepted, then you are emitting that vibration. So the other person already knows that they have to make extra effort to make you feel at home, and they don't want to do that. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to know that I'm good enough and people will like me. You know, and I will also like them. If you don't let these differences bother you, then you will not encounter discrimination on your path. If you are open to learning, you will grow. Challenges are everywhere. Traveling is very challenging. I have been robbed. I have witnessed death next to me happening. People coming and holding guns at me, but I always knew I am safe. And never a scratch happened. I have so many magical stories from my travels that I recently wrote a book. It's called Life is Abracadabra. So abracadabra is that kind of magic where when Aladdin, you know, he opened the lamp, the genie appeared and said, I am at your service.
Yes, ma'am.
So the world, the universe is at your service. And that is the magic of life. We don't see it. It is a new dimension of reality, which I discovered during my travels. That if I am in that magical dimension, then nothing can hurt me. When I am not in that dimension, then I can encounter danger, or all of that. But when I am in tuned to that magical dimension, even danger will come and touch me and go. People will fall on my left, people will fall on my right, but I will not fall because I know what they don't know. I have the faith that I am safe, which they don't have.
Like every second person has the dream of traveling.
Exactly.
But they feel like they have that financial issues. And how can they overcome that?
Yeah,
Like,
so as I said in my talk, the best travelings happen with almost no money. There is this saying, the best things in life are for free.
Yeah.
And believe it, I have travelled to nearly 30 countries, lived in 8 countries across 5 continents, and I never even had enough money for the tickets. I've never saved money, and people save money, people do insurance to secure their future. But as I said, that faith, that magic, I know my future is secured. I have a home in every country, so why I have to? I mean, yes, okay, I will save money when necessary. But when I was in that country, my principal purpose was to use my money to see that place. If I would save at that moment, then I would not have had all these adventures. Imagine backpacking, hiking, climbing up flat top mountains, sleeping in hammocks, making bonfires, snorkeling in the deep seas, befriending strangers, attending local weddings. I mean, honestly, you don't need money to do these. We used to come in groups, all these students who were on exchange programs, and they were not just from my program. They were from other programs. There are many volunteer and exchange organizations that offer these kind of travel opportunities or internships in a foreign country where you go. They pay you a very little salary, but that is enough. If 5 people hire a car and do a road trip,
Yes, ma'am.
how much is each person paying? Whereas if you go alone in a car, or if you want to do alone, you will spend a lot of money. And what we used to do, like let's say there is a backpacker's lodge, so they have these bunker beds, so you pay $5 a night, $10 a night instead of $100 in a hotel. And they used to make bonfires around, and we never felt we need to sleep. We used to sit there, play games, and with food. So we would be hungry because we were all students, right? What we did with food, backpackers lodges, they have these kitchenettes. And what we used to do, we go to hire a car, go to a different town, a beach town maybe. Then maybe 10 of us are traveling together. We go to a supermarket. Then we buy maybe half kilo rice, 2-3 vegetables, little bit of oil, all of this. And imagine for that 10 people, how much is each person spending? Nothing, peanuts. And we come back and we all cook together. Or one person cooks, and when the food is cooking, we are sitting in a round table, we are playing games, truth or dare, this, that, sharing our stories. Food is cooked, then we all eat. It's the most delicious food, and the best thing to eat that kind of food is so much satisfaction. You're not going to a hotel paying $50 for one prawn. 10 people buys a big prawn, one big lobster, everybody picks from it. It's good enough, and you will not believe it. I have lived in Africa, I've lived in Venezuela, I've eaten shit and I've never fallen sick. All these years, I've never needed to even go to a doctor. I never had vaccination, and I'm proud of it. Never got sick because I know that when I'm living my passions, disease cannot affect me. And when I get sick, when I come to India, and all these relatives start feeding me, that's it.
I hope people get inspired by your words. Ma'am, what's the best memory you ever had while traveling? If you would like to share with us.
Can a mom choose between her kids, which is the best kid?
It's very
Each
interesting.
place I went to prepared me for the next stage on my journey to destiny. And what gifts of the heart I got in Africa, I used those gifts in my next voyage in South America.
Okay.
What gifts South America gave me, I used those gifts in my next voyage in Central America. So I cannot say Central America was better than Africa.
Yeah.
Because Africa prepared me for that Central America trip. And before that I went to Europe. So Europe prepared me for the African challenge. It's not easy. It's easy to live in Europe. It's not easy to live in Africa, where 20 out of 24 hours there is no electricity. People literally live in darkness. How do you define life? And the value of life, the meaning of life in a place like that? It is an experience, and an invaluable experience. Before I went to Europe, I was prepared for that trip in Asia. So how can I say Europe was better than Asia? You see, it is all connected.
Yes.
You cannot separate them. It is like electron. Is it a particle or is it an energy? Sometimes it behaves like a particle, sometimes it behaves like an energy. But if you are observant enough, you see that when energies mix, they interfere. It's like an interference. But particles don't interfere. But if electrons can act as and atoms, now they are acting as waves,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
means the sky is not the limit, the black hole is the limit. You know, I don't know what to say. It is a mesh. Life, everything is interconnected. I cannot say this is better than that. All this journey, struggles has prepared me for the life that I am living today. If I did not have this background, I won't be sitting here talking with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Today I won't be doing this TED talk. You know, today I am getting the recognition. Today I am getting the respect. Today people are saying, ma'am, we are fan of you. But when I was getting robbed at gunpoint in Venezuela, I could have died there and nobody would have been there to even bury my body. I've lived through that unhurt. So I believe, I have come so close to death so many times. I've drowned in the river. I have... let me not talk about all of this. It will become too long. It's all in my book. You can read about it. It's called Life is Abracadabra. It will be out sometime this year or maybe early next year. But that's my message. That it's your mind that is so powerful, that creates everything. It creates the disease. It creates the challenges. It creates the blocks. And I honestly tell people, you don't need life insurance when you know your body. You won't fall sick. It is people who don't know their body, who don't connect with themselves. Then they get sickness. And that sickness is not bad. It's a challenge. It's your soul telling you, look inside. Every disease is curable. I don't believe. Because the disease is a vibration. If you are in this vibration, you will stay in the disease. When you raise that vibration, then you are out of that disease. If you continue to stay here, you can take as many medicines as you want, you will not leave that disease. But to raise that vibration, the moment it's a shift. Once you know it and you apply it, that disease is gone.
Yes.
I was telling a few students just now, I am talking from experience. When I was in university, I was this close to getting paralyzed. I hurt my back, my lower back. The MRI reports are there. Doctors told me, you can never dance, you can never, I was an athlete. They said, you should not run, you should not walk on hard ground. I was given these Dr. Scholl shoes, very ugly shoes, and I was just, very young. I wanted to do all this fashion and I had to wear that shitty shoes, wear this thick belt around my back because my back could not support me. And I lived like a vegetable for 3 years, almost like that. I could not even bend to wear my pants, honestly.
It is said life is survival of the fittest.
And no, it was, see, I did not know this power at that time. But life was preparing me with that injury. I was a vibrational match because I was very negative. I was in a career that I did not like, and I had no idea what it meant to pursue your dreams, to follow your passions, none of that. you know. And 3 years I used to go to the university hospital every day for physiotherapy, spend so much money, until I was like, even death is better than this, you know. And I remember one night I stepped out of my hostel, and the racing track, you know, the irony of God, I was in a hostel, just outside my hostel in the university campus was the racing tracks, and I used to be an athlete before, and for 3 years I hadn't run. It was my final year at university. I broke my back in the first year, so I just told God, it's okay, I'm ready to go, but I can't live this life. And I started running. You won't believe, like, I started sprinting midnight alone with the stars. And if you ask my friends, you know, when I finished, I ran for 2 hours. When I finished running, I came home and I saw, like, okay, it's been 2 hours and my back felt fine. Like, I couldn't believe, I thought my back would have been permanently damaged, but the opposite happened. And after that, like, every day at night alone, I used to run. Within 10 days, I lost like 10 kilos. And my friends were like, Baisakhi, we can't recognize you. And within 2 months, there was this big dance competition happening in our university. I joined. I started wearing heels. I did everything the doctors asked me not to. I threw away my painkillers. I used to be dependent on painkillers. I threw them away and I started living my life. And since then, I have done all these travels. I've done backpacking, huge, these heavy bags in my shoulders, and I've hiked mountains, this, that, and my back has never complained. How is that? It's a medical miracle.
No,
Doctors cannot explain it. So I knew at that age, nobody was there to guide me, you know. And after that healing happened, I never went to India until I came to India, and that is another story. But all these years I lived in Africa, you know, all these dangerous places, eaten shitty food, not even a diarrhea, not even that.
Ma'am, it is like life is full of ups and downs, and very few get to live a life like you. Ma'am,
Yeah, I think I stuck that night, you know, when I ran and my back didn't hurt. I made a promise to myself. I will never do anything in my life that I don't enjoy. Because I was in a career that I hated, you know, and I made this promise to myself. And so far, the road has been very difficult. But I have not swayed from that promise I made to myself. I cannot abandon myself. And I think that is why life stuck with me. Because I didn't abandon me, life did not abandon me.
ma'am, like, what's that one word you'd like our audience to listen from you, or like get inspired from you? A word or a sentence that will propel them to follow their dream, not to follow the basic routine what they are doing right now.
Let's see. Life is abracadabra. Life is magic. Just believe in the magic and you will experience it.
So how was the crowd out here?
I loved it. Honestly, I was blown. I mean, the organization of the whole event, the people. It is my first time in Bhubaneswar. I mean, I'm from Calcutta originally, but I'd never come to Bhubaneswar. I only heard stories from my mom in her childhood in Bhubaneswar, all that. So this is my first time, and right from airport reception, hotel stay, the whole organization of the event, the car rides bringing, it is all so well organized, timed, planned. Nobody missed anything, you know. The food, the party, the warmth of people. I really felt good, and I think as I leave a piece of myself
Yes, ma'am.
here before leaving, I'm also taking a piece of this place with me to wherever I go next.
Thank you, ma'am. As ma'am said, life is full of happiness. Life is abracadabra.
Yes, that's the name of my next book. So watch out for it. It's going to come out very soon, hopefully later this year. And it has 21 magical stories from my travels across the world. There are so many more stories that I cannot possibly write down, but those 21 stories are life-defining stories. And anybody who reads those stories, they will start looking at life with new eyes. I promise.
Looking forward to read that book, ma'am. Thanking you. This is Rishav Kumar signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.